What's cracking, everyone? This is Solomon SK for Whiskey and RPGs, and as you already know, we got to start the episode off with a toast. And today, I want to toast to those who keep us safe, and those are the first responders. I know Australia right now is having a tough time with the fires still, and there was a big earthquake in Turkey, and there are men and women out there that rush towards danger instead of away from it. And so I just want to give a toast to you guys. Thank you for keeping us safe, and thank you for being a light to a world of uncertainty. So cheers. And as always, I hope you guys get your glasses ready and come hang out with your beverage of choice. Doesn't have to be whiskey, it could be something else like water or Kool-Aid. We're all here to have fun, right? So got a lot of news to cover. There's a lot of exciting things going on right now, so let's jump straight to it. Cheers again, everyone. So to start this off, and what I said earlier, I thought it was really cool that there are companies out there that are donating their resources to help a worthy cause, again, with the Australian brush fire and the earthquake in Turkey. For example, in Black Desert Online, I'm just boiling it down to the extreme basic, but there's an event where you could actually exchange in-game currency in the game, and in exchange the company will donate real money to the charities helping out the people that, you know, in Australia and Turkey. And I thought that was really cool. It's a little bit more to it than that, but that's basically what happens. And so if you're somebody who doesn't have a lot of cash to and want to help out, but you play these games, this is more than an awesome opportunity for you to chip in, and they give you pretty cool they give you pretty cool rewards as well in game for doing so. Also, if you look at CCP Games, they also did a charity, and they raised over $100,000 to help combat the Australian brush fires. So, you know, things like this, I mean, it kind of warms your heart, and I think that it's good on them for doing so, and at the same time giving players an incentive by giving them in-game rewards. So, man, can you believe it's already February 2020? Man, what the heck have I done so far? But anyways, so that also means that Valentine's Day is coming up, and a number of MMOs are doing a Valentine's Day event, which is pretty cool. I love when MMOs do events like this, but one of them being Black Desert Online, and they're also doing a Valentine's Day stream, and it will take place on February 14th at 9 a.m. PST or 12 Eastern, and they're doing giveaways as well as doing some PvP challenges as well. Everquest II is also doing a Valentine's Day event. And I actually don't know too much or what's involved exactly, because I never played Everquest II, unfortunately. But just know that if you are an Everquest II player and you just want to jump into the Valentine's festivities, that, you know, this is your chance to take part in it. And the last bit of news in terms of Valentine's Day that I'm aware of is ArcheAge Unchained. They too are doing a Valentine's event. Saving Everyone's Valentine's event is currently underway, and it's available for players that are at least level 30. And so, yeah, they give you a bunch of goodies. I guess you collect Valentine's Day coins in exchange for rewards as well. So there may be other MMOs that do the same thing, but I'm just not I'm not aware of any. But if you guys are aware, just let me know. Please comment in the comment section below and let me know if your favorite MMO is doing the same thing, so I can cover it next time. I know, so shame on me for not playing Outer Worlds yet. As somebody who's a big Fallout fan, I just never got around to playing Outer Worlds, and I definitely will. It's definitely on my to-do list. But real quick, the Outer Worlds was announced for the Nintendo Switch, but because of the coronavirus, it's been delayed, and I think that's a pretty reasonable reasonable reason. Wow. I'm sorry, guys, I can't talk today. A little small update coming up for the Star Wars: The Old Republic, and this is something I'll definitely be covering. Reminder, Star Wars: The Old Republic, Pinnacles of Power going live on February 11th, next week. As a reminder, the update will feature more story where any players allied with the Republic will work with the Jedi Master SWToR and General Daerun to help with Task Force Nova On the Sith side, you'll meet wrong meet with Darth Rivix to help form the Hand. You'll also be able to customize your own Alderaan noble estate, and that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to that stronghold, despite the fact that you kind of already know what happens to that planet. But no spoilers, right? Even though it's been about 30 years, no spoilers. So this really surprised me. Like, grab a Defiance 2050 urban camo outfit from MOP and Game Ago. I didn't know that Defiance was still up. Now, granted, Defiance 2050 is different from the original Defiance, but I got something to show you guys. Here, watch. See this? This is the Ultimate Edition for the original Defiance MMO that came out like 10 years ago or something like that, right? I thought this was gonna be the next best thing. The reason being is because the MMO was supposed to be developed alongside the TV show on the Sci-Fi Network, or the Sci-Fi Channel, whatever they call it. And I thought this was gonna be revolutionary. It's gonna be so amazing because now that you have a PC game, but you also have the TV audience, and this is gonna revolutionize everything, and it's gonna be truly amazing. And the TV show was canceled after the first season. Ugh. Oh well, but I guess, yeah, I mean, do you guys want to see what's inside here? So I guess this is an unboxing of the Ultimate Edition of Defiance 10 years later. So it came with a messenger bag. I never used it. Still smells brand new because I kept it in the box the entire time. And this was the second tier collector's edition. This is the ultimate. This is like the second tier collector's edition, and it came with like this alien containment box or something. As you can see, it's supposed to. I thought that if you look over here, it kind of has that sort of retro look to it, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, you just open it. Ugh. You just open it, and then you have this alien inside that I never took out. It's still in its original package. And then you have like the stickers and manual and game and all that stuff. Anyways, enough about that. This is something I don't want to talk about. I need a drink after that terrible memory. So let's kind of look at what's going on here. It's been a hot minute since we last talked about Defiance 2050. The MMO Tryon World spun off the original Defiance back in 2018. Of course, a lot has changed in that time, including the fact that Game Ago snapped up the game among several others when Tryon collapsed. See, I didn't even know Tryon collapsed. Holy crap. Well, Game Ago hasn't been heavily developing the game beyond events. Recall that it appears the company spent most of its 2019 working on ArcheAge Unchained. It also hasn't closed the title yet either. It's probably in maintenance mode then. And the fact that right now it's trying to re-engage the community with the giveaway at least seems like a good sign. So I might actually just have to check it out for just, I don't know what's the word, like nostalgia sake, or just for, yeah, just because again I was so invested into it, and then anyways, we're not talking about that anymore. So I know a lot of people were disappointed with Metro Exodus, the developers from them, because they decided to do an Epic exclusivity for like the first year or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, Epic Games Store exclusivity expires. Publisher Deep Silver and developer 4A Games will release the PC version of Metro Exodus via Steam on February 15th, as companies announced. So yeah, if you ever wanted to pick up this game, you finally have the option to do so. And this news comes from Gematsu.com. Sorry, I keep forgetting to cite my sources, but yeah. Also coming from Gematsu.com, Fairy Tail game delayed to June 25th in Europe and Japan, June 26th in North America. I know there's a lot of Fairy Tail fans out there, and they say, let's see. I am truly sorry for the Fairy Tail's delay and the inconvenience caused for our fans, partners, and stakeholders who are looking forward to this title. Please allow us to take further time to polish the game and ensure it is as high quality as possible so we can offer you a truly immersive experience. hey, I don't have a problem with that. I used to watch Fairy Tail like for the first 2 seasons, or something like that, but yeah, I kind of stopped. But it'd be interesting to kind of hop back onto the franchise to see what's going on. So, and real quick, Atlas is another game I've always been meaning to play, more or less. So I'm not exactly sure the exact details of this, but if you're an Atlas fan, just to let you know, there is a latest patch out making some changes. So the latest patch notes for Atlas are here and touch on, among other things, reducing the player character level cap. The new cap will be 120, reduced from 150 to accommodate players above level 120 currently. The patch will force a skill respect. Additional notes include a removal of various blueprints from chests, adding other blueprints to chests, and more. Here's a snippet, but be sure to check out the extensive notes here. So yeah, they list a ton of things, all these changes. I could read them out to you and tell you what it is, but then I have no idea what these changes are because I never played the game. But just wanted to let the Atlas fans out there that if you are watching this, there are some changes going on, and be sure to let me know in the comment section what if it's a good or a bad thing, because I truly don't know. So I don't cover a whole lot of mobile games, but I thought this one would be worth mentioning very briefly. Counterside, a brief look at Nexon's Korea's first mobile title for 2020, and I like it. You know, I'm a sucker for anime aesthetics. I mean, look at my hat for to give you an idea. Closet weeaboo? Maybe. But yeah, yesterday Nexon announced the first mobile game of the year in South Korea, Counterside, categorized as an urban fantasy RPG. We did not exactly know how the actual gameplay will be before trying it out. In a short summary, combat for Counterside mainly takes place on a vertical map with players situated on the left and the enemy on the right. I wonder if that's similar to Epic 7. I really enjoy that. That's the one mobile title that I do enjoy. The main action here is to continuously summon characters and destroy enemy boss, and is similar to a mobile game which they previously tried, though that was somewhat simplified version. I could probably let's see what they're talking about then. Oh, Bofuri? Yeah, I don't know what this game is, but there's other games out there that's similar to it apparently. Yeah, just looking at the screenshots, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I don't know why. I just like the aesthetic. You know, very anime inspired, obviously, but yeah, enough of that. So just to let you guys know, I am a backer of Star Citizen, and so my opinions will definitely be biased, even though I'll try to be objective as possible. The new Inside Star Citizen is now live dubbed Friends in Low Places. The video outlines the process underway to improve getting into the game with your friends. It touches on creating new friend system on the site and the game as a single place to see your friends list. The contact list will be entirely redone and expanded functionality. Okay. So yeah, if you're still playing the alpha, I guess they got some new stuff going on. I'll definitely do a video on this. Again, I have access to the alpha, and it's a beautiful looking game, but it does have its fair share of criticism, which I don't, dispute. So we'll just leave it as that. The next news comes from Gematsu.com. Falcom president Toshihiro Kondo. I still don't know how to pronounce that. I used to know it's either like Yis or Ice or something like that. YS team starting to move forwards with the next, I'll just call it YS for now. Now the reason why I'm covering this is, yeah, it's an RPG, but I still, in my opinion, this JRPG is one of the most underrated ones. As far as I could tell, it's almost as old as Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy came out like way back in like the late 80s, early 90s, I believe, and this franchise is just as old. They've been going strong, but it definitely has its fans, and I remember playing it. I remember getting the game for the PlayStation Portable, if you guys remember that. That was a lot of fun. And so I'm glad that they're still continuing to develop this franchise. So last week I covered, was it last week? Or the previous News and RPGs news update or podcast, I did cover that Mark Jacobs was announcing a new game, and that angered a lot of people. for good reason too, because Camelot Unchained is a crowdfunded game that's been delayed, and a lot of people were saying like, why are you focusing on this when you haven't even developed the game that we want? It's not even out yet. So let's read on. Camelot Unchained Mark Jacob can't talk. Wow. Sorry, I'm gonna get my coffee here. Mark Jacobs announced a new game last week dubbed Final Stand Ragnarok. Right. And this is where I thought maybe this would be similar to like the Horde mode and Gears of War, but it was more or less not that case. But anyways. And it would go down well, and it didn't go down well with the community, but in a new letter to backers, he accepts full responsibility and promised to explain more in a stream later today. The backlash at the announcement of the new game, Final Stand Ragnarok, was swift and intense from backers who felt that they were betrayed after years of development on Camelot Unchained, but no final game. Mark Jacobs took to comments and began saying, effectively, fueling the fire. You can read about the whole situation here. So yeah, placing my shoes in like the backers of Camelot Unchained, I think I would be pretty pissed off too. But again, as I said earlier, I'm a backer of Star Citizen for a very long time, so I could probably more or less relate. But I mean, yeah, having to back up a game, but seeing the efforts being diverted to something completely different, I'd imagine I'd be pretty angry about that too. So this is really cool. I've been a huge fan of Blade and Soul, and this is definitely a good time to jump in, and I'm excited about this one. On February 19th, we will see the arrival of Shroud of the Assassin to Blade and Soul. A third class specialization is getting added to the Assassin class for level 55 players and higher. You'll also need to have completed the Legacy of the Hongmoon class Awaken quest. You'll be available to wield Phantasmal Energy with new Phantom skill after completing the Way of the Phantom quest. Additionally, from February 19th through March 25th, Blade and Soulmate returns. Taking part in this Valentine's Day. Oh, okay, so there you go. There's another Valentine's event from another MMO. Taking part in this Valentine's event will net you new items and upgrade materials. You can also exchange your soul badges for a limited time. So there you have it. I have an assassin. I think it's a Jin race female assassin. But I remember that class was very difficult to play effectively. You have to time, like, okay, so a lot of classes you have to time your counter, your blocks, and all that stuff correctly, but even more so with the assassin and the Kung Fu Master, in my opinion. I'll definitely jump into it and see what it's like, but don't expect too much from my skill level, because it's been about like a year or two since I last played this game, and so don't expect just great gameplay, but definitely something worth checking out. I've always wanted a reason to jump back into the game, and this is probably going to be it. So the next bit of news comes from massively overpowered or op.com, and this is something I briefly I can't. Okay, so the theme of this news episode is that I can't talk today, man. And I briefly touched upon this last episode about Blue Protocol potentially coming here to the US, but it looks like we got more news, so let's get into it. The developers of Bandai Namco published anime action MMORPG Blue Protocol have put out developer update video, and it's chock full of new details according to a developing mega thread on Reddit. Among these details are looks of the character, customization, NPCs, mounts, and oh yeah, the dates are related to the game's first closed beta in Japan. The closed beta will begin in Japan sometime in March and will last approximately 4 days. Registration starts on February 12th with 50,000 player invites planned to be handed out. It will have no NDA, non-disclosure agreement, and according to community members, it will not be IP blocked, though that detail is not 100% confirmed. Even so, the lack of NDA could mean we'll be seeing a lot of gameplay shares in about a month. That's awesome, man. I can't speak Japanese though. Hey, are there any Japanese speaking fans of my channel out there that could help me out with this? I'd love to get into the beta. It would be a huge boost to my channel, admittedly, and but not only that, it just looks like an awesome game, and I would love to try this out. But we'll see what happens. 50,000 players, dang, that's not a whole lot considering. But But yeah, it's but we also have a little bit more news from MMORPG.com. They said that Blue Protocol has been trademarked by Bandai Namco in EU and NA according to a listing. The information comes from Blue Protocol DB, which cites trademarks filled with Government of Canada trademarks database and UK trademarks database. You can check out the entries here, here, and here. Of course, this is far from official confirmation. We simply have no word on whether or not we'll see Blue Protocol in the West. In fact, as of July last year, Bandai Namco. Okay, so it's still a good sign. It's still a good sign. Does that necessarily mean they're gonna have this out for the Western market? Not necessarily, but it's good to know that they're taking the steps to go that direction. If they do decide to release it here. And I think we got some pretty good news. I think there's definitely a huge market for this game here in the West because of the lack of good anime MMORPGs or just, you know, anime games in general. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. And I wanted to briefly touch upon this as well. I used to be a huge collector back then. Again, as I showed you my my worthless Defiance Ultimate Edition, but Kingdom Hearts All-in-One Package Physical Edition coming to the PS4 on March 17th in North America. So again, if you're a collector of physical goods like I am, there's not many of us out there like that since the, you know, everything is digital these days. But yeah, if you're somebody who wants to who likes to collect things, it's going to be $50, $49.99. And yeah, that's really cool. I really like the box art. Phantasy Star Online 2 headed to Steam according to online manual. Looks like Phantasy Star Online 2 has been confirmed for Steam and its online manual from its official site. As of today, the only way you can play Phantasy Star Online 2 outside of Japan is on the Xbox One. There's a closed beta running on February 7th through 8th. If you're in the beta, you can begin pre-downloading, but what about Steam? If you head over to the official site, go to the supporter header and then select to take a look at the manual. Once that pops up, select game. At this point, there are 3 options available. One of those options is about the PC version, which mentions Windows 10, but also Steam. I'm not gonna lie, in my honest opinion, for me, it feels just a little too late. I remember playing the original Phantasy Star game on the Dreamcast, the Sega Dreamcast, if you guys remember that. I remember holding the Dreamcast and looking at the back, you see the connection for a phone line, and I'm like, oh wow, that's so amazing! Like, none of us seen that before. I think the PlayStation 2 had one, but the Sega Dreamcast came out first, and just being able to connect your console like you do a PC and have internet access, that totally blew my mind at the time. So there's a comment down here that I find interesting and maybe even agree with more or less. But 8-year-old game with mobile graphics, very interesting. /S. I'm assuming that means /sarcasm. And he does make a good point. It's a fairly older game. That's why I say, for me as a graphical snob, it's too little, too late. But I think it's still worth checking out. And you know, if the rumors or speculations are true, I'll give it a try. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll end up loving it. But as of right now, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. So not necessarily an MMO or an RPG, but those of you guys who are new to the channel, you guys, I'm a huge mecha fan. I love MMOs. Wow, I really can't talk. I love mechs, anything pertaining to mecha, like Mech Warrior, Armored Core, Heavy Gear, Robotech, stuff like that. And I was actually pleasantly surprised to see an article about Mech Warrior Online in MassivelyOverpowered.com. Basically, it's asking what happened to Mech Warrior Online. People are speculating it's gone into maintenance mode. A lot of the developers for Mech Warrior Online were diverted to develop Mech Warrior 5, but now that Mech Warrior 5 was released, it's just like, what's going to happen to Mech Warrior Online? So yeah, I briefly read it, and it doesn't really give you a whole lot of new information other than it's just asking the questions like what happened to the game. So yeah, there you go. If you made it this far with me, I do appreciate it. The retention time does help with the algorithms, and so if you hung out with me, please let me know down in the comment section below. I really do appreciate you guys' support, and that's the news for this week. And as always, next week we'll have a new drink of the week. And yeah, guys, I just hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.